The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the People's Platform.
Aloha, and welcome back to Island Storybook. I'm Auntie Christine Reed at Basically Books. And like my name, I love to read. And I love to read aloud and share stories with anyone who wants to listen. Today I'm reading a shape-shifting adventure written by Daniel Frates and illustrated by Jamie Meckel Tablason. I really like this book because it talks about language, but it also talks about math and introduces us to different shapes. So here we go, a shape-shifting adventure in Hawaii. It starts with a banyan tree, but down in the banyan tree, I see some eyeballs here. There once was a lion hiding in a banyan tree, just hanging around, but the lion was bored. She wanted to go out and explore the island. So, the lion connected both of her ends together to make a circle. The circle was amazed at her new ability to travel and happily rolled along, enjoying all the new sights. The circle stopped by a farmer's garden. While admiring the vegetables, a pua'a walked by and accidentally stepped on the circle, squishing her. The circle was now an oval. The oval was not happy. It was much harder to roll as an oval. Frustrated, the oval pushed out, but in her anger, her jabs turned into points. The oval was now a triangle. The pua'a tugged and pulled up a sweet potato. Pleased with himself, he sat down right onto the newly formed point of the triangle. The pua'a let out a loud squeak and ran away. The triangle was proud of her 3 new points. They seemed unsquishable, but rolling was definitely out of the question. A little dazed, the triangle picked herself up and saw that one of her points was flattened. The triangle was now a trapezoid. The trapezoid felt a little off balance. When she tried to continue on her journey, she could only flop from side to side. The trapezoid had an idea. Maybe if she evened herself out, she could move around better. The trapezoid pushed up and out on 2 of her angles. And she was now a square. 2 ohiki popped out of their holes. They had seen the trapezoid change into a square. They sidestepped up to the square. The square was happy to see new friends until the 2 ohiki began to fight over who who could play with the square first. Mine, said one. No, mine, said the other. The ohiki pulled and stretched the two sides of the square until the square was now a rectangle. The rectangle remembered how she scared the pua'a away. I need to look at this problem from a different angle, she thought. So she pushed up on one of her sides to form a new angle. This startled the ohiki, and they scurried away. The rectangle was now a pentagon. The pentagon slid over to a cluster of sea-worn lava rocks to think about her adventure so far. She could smell the ocean and hear the crashing waves. Then, conk! A small green coconut landed on her head, flattening out her top point. The pentagon was now a hexagon. Rubbing her flat head, she thought, I look like a honu's shell. Before she could compare herself to a nearby napping honu, a pair of melis saw her. A hexagon was their favorite shape. Their hive was full of hexagons. The melis surrounded the hexagon and started to carry her to their hive. The hexagon did not want to be taken to the hive, and the buzzing of the meli was too loud. The hexagon made a drastic change. She made 2 new sides and 2 new angles. The hexagon was now an octagon. Octagons are not a meli's favorite shape, so they dropped the octagon and flew off. The octagon was very tired of being stepped on, grabbed, pulled, and dropped. She looked around and spotted a vana in a tide pool. The vana was all points and angles, which gave the octagon a great idea. The octagon pushed and pushed on all 8 of her angles, and the octagon was now a star. With a burst of energy, the star jumped up and flew into the sky. She had started her journey to see the island, and now she saw the entire Hawaiian island chain spread out beneath her. The star looked around and saw that she was surrounded by thousands of sparkling stars. She felt safe and happy and home. The end. But it's not the end, because we learn that honu is the sea turtle and meli is the bee. Ohiki is a sand crab. Pua'a is the pig. Pueo is the owl. And vana is the sea urchin. We also learn about the shapes: circle, oval, triangle, which means it has 3 sides and 3 angles. A trapezoid has 4 sides, but they're not even. Then there's a square. The square has 4 angles and 4 sides, but they're all even. It has 4 sides and 4 angles, but 2 of the lines are long and 2 are short. Pentagon has 5 sides and 5 angles. A hexagon has 6 sides and 6 angles. And an octagon has 8 sides and 8 angles. And a star can have as many points and angles as your imagination can tell you. What I love about books is that it opens our world and we can learn so many things. In this book, we see so many colors. We also learn about math. We learn about shapes. We learn about numbers and how that fits into our world. So you should look around you and observe all the different shapes in your life. The ball is a circle. The beehive has the hexagons. You can look up into the sky and see the stars at night and use your imagination and see whatever you can find in them. Many of our constellations in the sky have been named by the Hawaiians and other cultures, and they use the stars to navigate, and they use the stars to mark places in time. The Hawaiian calendar starts with the Makahiki. That's when the constellation Makali'i, which means little eyes, it's also known as Pleiades in Western astronomy. When it rises in the east right at sunset, we know the new season of harvest is coming. We also look at the sky and see the moon, which is a beautiful circle. But as the month goes by, it's a sliver, and then it's a half a circle, and then it's getting bigger, and then it becomes a full moon again, all the way back to the new moon, when you can barely see it in the sky because it's all dark. So if you look around you and observe all the different shapes and colors and think about language and math and history, all of that can be found in books. So go out and look around and find the shapes we learned about in this book and share it with your parents and your siblings and your aunties and your uncles, and let them know what you learned when you read this book. Mahalo for watching this episode of Island Storybook. I'm Auntie Christine Reed at Basically Books, and I welcome you to enjoy the love of reading and the adventures it will take you on. Please visit your local library and share your books with your friends.
Special mahalo to Basically Books for supporting literacy here on Hawaii Island. Naleo TV wants to encourage reading and writing in an ever-changing digital world. Reading is a fundamental skill that opens up a world of knowledge, imagination, and personal growth. Mahalo for tuning in to this episode of Island Storybook. Check out our website, naleo.tv, for more videos on demand, and get ready for the next story we find.